afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to be explaining about the recount text so as the example from one of our experiences.
Definition: the context of group of that are used to describe or retell certain event and experience that had happened in the past. The purpose context are used to list, retell, or describe experience that or in order which had already happened in the past.
Then we have the four types of recount text. First, we have personal recount.
Story about personal experience from the past.
Then we have factual recount.
Report of the story about events from the past.
Then we have biography.
A written story about a personal history.
Then we have history.
To retell its story information.
And now we are going to move on to the generic structure of a recount text. First, we have orientation, events, and reorientation. So first, orientation usually contains the author or the rest of the characters in the story, the time and the location where the story took place. Then we have events, which contains the sequence of the story being told or the middle part. Then we have reorientation, which contains the ending or the last part of the story. Now we're going to be moving on to the language features used to make a recount text. First, we have using simple past tense. Recount text is used verb to in every sentence that has a verb. For example, me and my family went to the beach last week. Formula in sentence that is used is personal participants, which is me and my family. Verb to, which is went. Noun or subject to the beach or the name of the place. Then we have prepositional phase, which is last week. Next, there is using personal participants. This is used to describe the characters that take place in the story. For example, I, me, we, he, him, she, her, my group, and etc. Then we have chronological conjunctions. This is used to sort the story out into order. For example, first, next, then, and much more. So now we are going to be giving you an example of a recount text of an experience that I had about 4 years ago.
Hey Farah, I have a question. Have you even been on a flight before?
Yes, I have actually. It was a flight from the Emirates to here to Indonesia, and it was about 4 years ago.
Can you tell me more about it?
Well, it was a flight from when I moved here about 4 years ago. We took about 4 locations to get here.
What time did you leave home to go to airport?
Well, we woke up at 11 a.m. sharp to get to the airport. It took 1 hour to get there because the airport was in a different city from where we lived. It was the Dubai International Airport. And after that airport, we took another flight to the capital city of Sri Lanka, which is called Colombo.
How so long was the flight from Colombo to Singapore?
Well, it was around 4 to 5 hours because the flight was a bit delayed when we got there.
What was the airport in Sri Lanka like?
Well, the airport was very big, but there were barely any people in it, especially because it was already night when we arrived and it was pretty quiet.
How long did it take over for your before on your flight?
Well, we needed to wait around 2 hours before boarding onto our flight because it was delayed. After that, we got onto our next flight and we went to Singapore.
Did the server end the flight?
They actually did. It depends on the airline. Because some airlines only serve food when the flight is longer than 2 hours. And in our airline, the flight was actually longer than 2 hours. It was around 4 to 5 hours. So that's why they serve food. And then after we arrived at Singapore, we ended up taking a port here to Batam.
When you arrived at Batam, how big your seaport?
Well, my aunt and my uncle came to pick us up from the seaport and drove us all the way back home. So that is an example of a recount text. I hope you enjoyed.